business lending did not resume. But given the competitive environment in which banks operate, not one of them individually is willing to strike out on their own. Can I impress upon the Prime Minister the need to get them into a room and collectively and simultaneously ensure that they resume that lending, that the £37 billion was given for that precise purpose, and that their social obligation is an economic imperative for the country.
I'm grateful to my friend. He will have noticed that the Royal Bank of Scotland on Sunday issued a statement saying that they were going to refuse to raise the rates for overdrafts. This is something that has got to happen right across the banking system. We are talking to the banks now. We hope that we can make progress with them. And the flow of cash to small business in particular will be helped by the expansion of the Small Firms Loan Guarantee Scheme in the budget, the £1 billion for export credit, and the deferment of payments of tax and national insurance that we have agreed that the HMRC are prepared to offer. And I also agree with the Governor of the Bank of England when he said that the action we took to balance monetary policy with the fiscal action in the economy was the right thing to do. Only the Conservative Party stands out against it.
I'd like to add my own expressions of sympathy and condolence to the family and friends of Marine Alexander Lucas, who tragically lost his life in Afghanistan. As a member for Sheffield, I'm sure I also speak on behalf of the whole House and everybody in Sheffield when I say how horrified we were all to hear of the terrible abuse suffered by two daughters at the hands of their own father, and hope that they, the victims, will now have the time, the space and the privacy to rebuild their own lives. Mr. Speaker, in the pre-budget report, the Chancellor mentioned fairness 8 times. Yet, as always with this government, it pays to read the small print. His VAT cut will benefit big spenders much more than it benefits hard-pressed families. His national insurance hike will hit millions of low earners. This isn't fairness. It's a betrayal. He had the chance to make our tax system fairer. Why did he blow it?
Mr. Speaker, can I also join him in saying that the whole House and the whole country indeed will be outraged by those unspeakable events that have been reported as happening in Sheffield and in other parts of the country, and will be utterly appalled by the news of the systemic abuse of 2 sisters by their father over such a long period. A serious case review is underway. That must involve all the authorities, social services, police and health. They have been in contact with the sisters, who are rightly protected for their privacy and confidentiality from the media. People will rightly want to know how such abuse could go on for so long without the authorities and the wider public services discovering it and taking action. And if there is a change to be made in the system, and the system has failed, we will change the system as a result of the inquiries. Can I also say to him about fairness? We have raised the pension by £4.55, and we've raised it from January. We've raised child benefit to £20, and we've raised it from January. We've raised the child credit and the pension credit, and we are continuing to raise that to take pensioners and children out of poverty. The best we can do is to continue the policies that have taken children and pensioners out of poverty, and not follow his policies of cutting $20 billion out of the public services.
I'm grateful to him for what he said about the importance of the independent review asking all the questions which must be asked. But on the issue of fairness, we once again have a list rather than an answer, misleading bluster rather than a real response. He could give permanent, big, fair tax cuts to millions of ordinary British taxpayers if only he would close the huge loopholes like the £8 billion pension tax bonus for top earners, or the way in which millionaires can still receive their capital gains on much lower tax rates than their cleaners pay tax on their wages. He could have done this. Instead, he has toyed with the hopes of the British people. Why has he let them down?
Mr. Speaker, he seems to forget we are giving real help to families, and we're giving that real help now. Now, he may think the pension is only £30, but I do say to him, we are raising the pension by a higher rate than many years. We're bringing it forward to January by a £60 payment. We're also helping children and families through this difficult time. The cut in VAT will benefit low-income families, and he should understand that that is the case. And as for the loopholes and allowances, every year we take action on loopholes, and every year we take action when it comes to looking at where there are abuses of the system, and he should look at the proposals that have been put forward by the Chancellor that will be debated in a few minutes. We are the party of fairness. A party proposing 20 billion of cuts is not a party of fairness.